Good to see everyone. JB Long here to kick off a new season of Rams Revealed and to do it on a winning note after LA takes down Houston at SoFi Stadium and prepared to go to Nashville to challenge the Titans next. As you can see, we've got a new look here on the show, but the format's going to be the same, helping you get to know a lot of the men behind the helmets that we see each Sunday. And what a way to start this year with Nate Landman, one of the heroes of that Week 1 victory. Hope you enjoy this conversation on Rams Revealed. I think my first question is Landman or Landman? Because depending on who's talking about you around this building, the emphasis is different, and I like both.
Yeah, it's Landman. But when I first got here, a few guys said Landman, or they called me the Landman, and it just stuck. So I never really corrected anybody. It just kind of grew, and now people do know it's Landman, but they say the Landman anyways, and I'm great with it. So
no objection to either.
No objection either. Yeah.
I like that. Have you seen the Billy Bob Thornton show?
I have. Yeah, I think the season 2 comes out in November.
You're a fan?
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quite a coincidence that in the peak of your football prime, there's a show that carries your name. Are you okay if we do some like inside the NBA type photoshopping to get, your face on
that's
Billy
fine.
Bob's Thornton?
Yeah, that's
all right. We'll have to check that out. I remember your college days when they used to call you the Hammer, though. Did that nickname carry through, or is that a bygone era?
It's bygone, and I'm kind of glad. It was a great nickname for college, but not one I wanted to carry on in the NFL. But it hasn't come to the light in the league at all.
Why'd you want to leave it behind?
I just think it was just starting fresh, starting new, and it was a great college chapter. And shout out Rick Amboa, Colorado, for giving me that nickname. Yeah,
that's a good callback,
and it stuck.
Some good days in Boulder.
Great days, yeah.
One of the most beautiful places in college football.
Yeah, if I had the choice to go back and do it again, I would do it all the same.
Good for you. Now you get to play at one of the premier sports and entertainment venues in all the world, SoFi Stadium, and your first regular season game was one to remember. Let's go through the punch, and you can start with how you saw it develop from your lens.
Yeah, I dropped into my hook. I was reading the QBIs, and they were an empty. Tank went to the 3-by side, and I stuck to the 2-by side, and just reading the eyes of the Q, and he was looking off, and then he came late back to 1. I think the running back was at 1 and ran a drive or a slant or whatever it was, and the ball kind of just presented itself. We already had the tackle viced, me and Akello, and that's when you could take your shots when those opportunities arise, and something we work on all the time. So it's just practice, preparation met the opportunity in the game, and it came to light.
Yeah, beautifully described. You say you had the tackle viced, and I think what you mean there is I can imagine you got a split-second decision to make because you can't wrap up and take your right hook at the same time. But you felt good. I don't know if it's a risk, but taking that shot in that moment.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk. You try to throw the punch and simultaneously wrap with the other arm. Obviously, it's not as secure as a tackle, but definitely a calculated risk when I saw Kello to the left of me and knew that we had the running back viced in that moment.
As great as that play was, the recovery from Fisk was every bit as good. I think when you spoke with the media in the post-game locker room Sunday, you hadn't had like a full look at the replay yet. Now you have.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Oh, what an amazing! I mean, that was equally as good a play, maybe even better play, because if you get the punch out without the recovery, it means nothing. So all credit to that guy. What an athletic play. Because the old lineman was right there, ready to receive it, and he one hand palmed it, stuck it against the ground, brought it in, and just an incredible play, moving opposite direction of the ball.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you ever played the game Hungry Hungry Hippos as a kid, but it had that look.
It did have that feel.
Just vacuumed it up. The celebration was wild. I mean, I love when great defensive plays happen. We all do, but when they happen in front of your own sideline, it's a special dimension there.
Yeah. Like I said in the post game, I kind of blacked out in that moment. For whatever reason, I took my helmet off and just ran straight to the guys to celebrate with the team. And just an awesome moment. Everybody was fired up. Whole sideline came to celebrate. Staff was, all the staff was in it too. Just a cool moment for the Rams.
I timed it. I put the stopwatch to it. From the moment you wound up to the moment Sean McVay embraces you, only 5 seconds transpired. That's how fast it was. So
yeah, it's crazy. That's how fast the game goes. It happens in a split second.
How about the defensive effort as a whole yesterday? It's your first chance with the Los Angeles Rams to not allow a touchdown, to pitch a second half shutout. The Texans never got past your 15-yard line. How's that for a starting point in 25?
Yeah, what a great foundation for us to build off, and just seeing all our hard work, pay off on the field, and a lot of room for improvement, stuff we can do even better, places for us to grow in, and just other opportunities for us to take advantage of. So credit to that team. It was a good team. It was a good battle, good competitive battle, and proud of the guys for how we stuck with it all 4 quarters.
Your play was a highlight. Any other favorite plays from that matchup with Houston?
Yeah, Jacoby's interception was insane.
How did he get that?
I have no clue. I mean, I was the hook player right close to that side, so I watched it in full, and I didn't even know he came down with the ball until he stood up. What an incredible play. A few of those sacks, BY, and just the D-line playing fast out of the stack and some of the screens. Just the effort they play was incredible.
Young played a whale of a game, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he really brought it against a talented Houston offense.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the speed off the ball, the violence he plays with his hands, and he plays the game the right way. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and you can feel it out there when you're playing with him.
If it's all right with you, I'm going to play a clip from the offensive side of the football with you. Because as an off-ball linebacker yourself who has to play that neck of the woods, you've referenced that hook coverage a few times. You have to read quarterbacks' eyes sometimes. Well, when you're playing across from Matthew Stafford, you got to contend with this. Have you seen this play, this force down throw up the seam to Puka Nacua? And what's that like to be Henry To'o and have to contend with the eyes of Matthew Stafford?
I did see this play. Matt's looking off that linebacker. Yeah, I would be doing the same thing. A certain type of quarterback can only make that play, and Matt does this kind of stuff in practice. You can see the linebacker moving with intention on the QB's eyes, feeling the wrap behind him, but not knowing that it's bending back. Matt's doing a great job moving in. For him to even throw the ball, without his eyes locked on the receiver is just an incredible talent.
I know he wasn't live for most of the summer, so you didn't kind of get that head-to-head that you might have during training camp. But I wonder if when you do duel with him, if you almost treat him like you're playing liar's dice or something, like his first look is not true.
Oh, you have to. Sometimes you got to even just freeze your feet. That's kind of the best thing you can do, because he'll mix it up to where he'll keep his eyes front side, throw front side, or keep his eyes front side and throw back side. So, tremendous credit to him. He's a hell of a player, and glad he's on our side.
Nate, we're glad you're here, obviously making a tremendous first impression, but I'm not even sure how you got here, because I thought you put some pretty good tape down in Atlanta. Can you take us through your lens and the early years of your professional career and how it came to be that you are a Ram?
Yeah, coming to the league undrafted, battling some injuries, and fortunate enough to make the 53 my rookie year, and then ended up getting cut towards the end of the season. Kind of how the league goes, had to sign a guy, and I was kind of that bubble guy. Ended up signing back on a futures deal, being able to start a lot of that second year, I think 14 or 15 games, and carry that on to the third year, with the head coaching change. It was great to have Ron there. And, when you hit that third year as an undrafted guy, they can either tender you or not. So just having that conversation with them, they decided not to. And, obviously had Jimmy Lake there. So, once free agency hit, having those conversations with Jimmy and my agent, and we just felt like this would be a great place. And it's been awesome ever since. And, what a blessing to be here.
Yeah. You mentioned a couple of the key names. Obviously, Raheem Morris is close to this organization. I saw Jimmy in the cafeteria, and I said, thank you for bringing Nate with you. He said, you're someone he's always had a lot of appreciation for. What does that say about kind of the relationships driving this league, that your next opportunity comes from a good impression you made with a coach who also journeys back to LA?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a conversation you have with a lot of guys in the locker room, a lot of young guys, that you never know where your opportunity is going to come from, and who's going to be, on your corner rooting for you. So just showing up to every day with your best foot forward, and you never know, that opportunity might be here, might be elsewhere. But just showing up to work every day, putting your best out there.
I hope you were confident that when you forced 3 fumbles in each of your first 2 full seasons, that you're going to have some more work in your future. But how much interest did you draw, and how clear a path was it to the Rams?
Not as much as you'd like, you'd expect, which is fine. It's the way the league goes, and but I think I'm right where I need to be. I'm so happy to be here, and that path was clear towards the end. It wasn't muddy. It was kind of once the Rams came into conversation, it was like, all right, this is the place I need to be. This is a great fit.
Do you sign with the hope or even the expectation that you would start, though?
Yes, I think you have to. I think you got to sign. You got to have that chip on your shoulder, that confidence to go in and be like, I'm going to go try to be the guy there. I'm going to go start. And that's why we're all playing. We all want to be on the field. So definitely have that mindset of want to go in there and want to make an impact.
And in turn, then to have the green dot and to run the defense, given the position you play, if you're going to come here with that hope and that expectation, then you want it all.
You want it all. Exactly. Yeah. Especially as the Mike or, inside backer, you want that responsibility. I think it comes with the job. It's a great part of the job. It's a part of the job I enjoy. So definitely have that expectation.
To be a captain, though, I could see you come into a new place, a pretty established roster, a deep culture, and just trying to find your way to blend in, to be a part of it, but maybe not taking a leadership role. What did it mean to you to be voted a captain this summer?
Oh, it is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, and it's a great honor, and something I'm super proud of and super grateful for, that the guys trust me with that badge. Just coming to work every day, being myself, not trying to do too much, just trying to be the player that I am, trying to earn their respect from day one. Not by talking or anything, just by playing football on the field, and creating those relationships with all the guys in the locker room. And I think it's been going well, and it can continue to grow.
I remember your days in Boulder. You seem to be a natural leader. Part of it, the position you play, the way you perform. But some of those attributes, could you elaborate a bit more in terms of, was it an intentionality, or was it just people gravitating to you and saying, hey, here's a guy who deserves to be at the front of our defensive room?
I think it's both. I think it's intentionality. Like you said, it comes with the position. As an inside backer, you're talking to the front, you're talking to this area. You have a piece in the whole defense. You're part of the rush plan, you're part of the coverage plan. So just having the constant conversation with the guys up front, guys in the back end, I think you're around the whole defense as a whole. Barking out the calls, giving directions, and I think it just comes naturally to guys in the middle linebacker position, and it gives you a lot of room to grow. Like you said, in college, now to the pros, you grow every year, and that leadership quality just grows.
Everyone's circumstances at off-ball linebacker are not created equally in this league. To play behind this defensive front, how does that allow you to thrive?
Oh, I think that's why my game's elevated just in the short months I've been here. My confidence in my game's gone up because I'm playing behind the guys up front, and then even the guys behind, Q Lake and Cam Curl, and those guys are so smart players. Makes my job easy. And a lot of time in practice, I'm untouched making plays where it seems like I'm the one making the play, but all the credit has to go to those guys because, they're taking on double teams, Puna Ford, splitting double teams. Just guys going above and beyond, playing their game, which makes my life easier as a middle linebacker.
What's Omar like as a running mate, and how far forward can he progress in year 2?
O is, I would say, the most complete linebacker. Physical, great in the run, fluid feet in the pass game. O, from OTAs till now, is taking a huge step. And even just talking to the, Money and those guys who had him here last year, similar story. Me and him, to where he came in undrafted and then got his opportunity to play and took the most out of it. So much respect for O, and sky's the limit for him. He's getting better every day, and our relationship is growing strong.
Do you feel like you're guiding him towards success? Are you taking things off his plate as his kind of sidekick there?
Yeah, I think we're guiding each other. He teaches me things and I teach him things, and we play off each other well. Super smart player, and I'm familiar with O from his Oregon State days. So, been a fan of him from afar, and now getting to play with him is awesome.
You talk about some of the parallels in your path of the league. How about Sean Dolak? Because there's another one that we see a lot of similarities. Prolific college player and tackler. has to make it as a college free agent, but seems to be in the right place given your room.
Yeah, I mean, he fits in our room perfectly. Sean's a great guy. We call him Dale. That's just his rookie nickname for now.
Do I want to ask why? Is there any story to it?
Stepbrothers, Dale Doback, so we call him Dale Dolak. But Dale's awesome. I mean, came in from day one, just a grinder, worked hard, understood the position that he was in. Fortunate to have, me, Omar, and Troy have similar circumstances to be able to help him through the process. And nothing was given to him. It was all earned by him. So super proud of him. And sky's the limit for him as well. A complete backer who can do it all.
Sure. We won't be the first to tell your story, your background, but it is so unique in the context of what we do. So can we kind of follow the path from Zimbabwe to Northern California to Boulder? And it starts with your parents, as I understand. Your dad was an international rugby player?
Yeah. So he played for the Zimbabwe national team after playing at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. And then post professional rugby career, he became an engineer for a multinational company that had a bunch of offices in San Francisco. And so he would be flying back and forth from Zimbabwe to San Francisco months on a time. And eventually they brought him the opportunity to move his family out, and he jumped on it. So, just with the thought in mind to give his kids and his family, a greater chance at a better future in the States. And so, what a study is to bring his family here, and my mom as well, taking care of 4 kids. They were young when we moved here. And so, all credit to them. They're amazing. And so moved to San Francisco and then lived throughout the Northern Bay Area, East Bay, and then ended up at Colorado.
So you and the youngest of 4?
I am, yeah.
You and all of your siblings were born in Africa, yes?
Yes, sir.
That correct?
Yeah.
But you don't have many memories, at least youth memories, until your more recent adult visit of Zimbabwe?
Yeah. Yeah, we went back and we saw my family that lives in Harare, which is great. Seeing my cousins and my uncles that I hadn't seen since I was 3.5, 4 years old.
Sounds awesome. And you say that your siblings are super successful. I read that in an article about you. What paths, professionally, had they found success in?
Yeah, my brother was a D1 football player. My sister was a D1 swimmer, and then my other brother is an academic, and so he was on scholarships for academics. And my 2 brothers are in the first. So my one's a firefighter and one's a cop, and then my sister is a CEO of her own company. She creates 2 or 3 apps, and she's a trainer, nutritionist out of those 2 or 3 apps.
Her name is Ocean Trail?
It is.
Tell us about that.
Yes, her name's She's my half sister. So she has a different last name, but yeah, Ocean Trail. How cool of a name is that?
That's pretty unique. And she was a swimmer, you said?
She was a swimmer.
Oh, that's awesome. And your brother played, Arizona State?
He did.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
He's a tight end.
Have any family members been able to come to SoFi yet, see you play?
My parents were at this last game.
Oh, great.
And, now being back on the West Coast, my siblings will be at a lot more games.
And I understand you wear your history on your sleeve quite literally, right? What does your tattoo art say about your backstory?
I think it just, reminds me of where I came from. A bunch of Africa-themed tattoos, and then I have the dates of my family's birthdays here. Just things that are important to me, my culture, my heritage, and my family.
Very cool. And you wear the Zimbabwean flag on your helmet as well?
I do. Yeah,
that's pretty unique. That's pretty special.
Yeah, it's something that I'm proud of.
Very cool. All right, we spin it forward to week 2, and I know it's early in your week of preparation, so you have not had a deep dive on the Titans yet, but you probably know they got the number 1 overall pick at quarterback. And that means you only have a 1-game sample size of film on Cam Ward. So how do you approach this week to be ready for what you're going to see in Nashville?
Yeah, I think we treat it like we treated the last week with the Texans, where we're going off minimal preseason tape, and you kind of watch what they did last year a little bit, but new regime in there, new offensive coordinator, so not focusing too much on what they're doing and focusing more on what we're doing, playing our base stuff, the stuff we're good at, making them react to us. With the young quarterback, obviously he's tremendous talent, being a first overall pick, got a strong arm, smart kid, but you still don't have that NFL experience, so trying to keep him on his toes, show him multiple looks, and find other ways we can get him uncomfortable. If
that football cliche is true that teams make the greatest leap 1 to 2, expect more from the Titans, certainly, but how about the Rams? As good a performance as that one was against Houston, what are some of the areas that you guys are going to try and clean up?
Yeah, I think we just build off each other, start playing more. We played complementary football to where, offense needed us to step in, or we needed them to step up at the last drive to not put us back on the field. Just continuing that process to build off each other in the kicking game as well. I think we had a complete win that last game. Obviously, there's improvements to be made and corrections to be made. So learning from those, and it's an imperfect game, but it's the greatest team sport. So just playing off each other and playing, cohesive, complementary football.
Awesome. All right, Landman to some, Landman to others. Nate, we're just glad to have you here in Los Angeles. Thanks for helping us get to know you a little bit better. Congrats on a victory Monday, and here's to many more.
Thank you so much.